You're good.
All right, so we're gonna start with introductions, and so I'll go first. My name is Latte. I'm the Communications and Visibility Coordinator, and we have put this together for you guys. We have like 20 questions, so each one of us will be asking you guys questions, and at the end we will have, if we have time, you can of course ask us anything, and we will reply. So whoever wants to go in and introduce yourself, go ahead.
My name is Faith. I am ASG's in-district representative. Yeah. Hello. Thank you for being here.
I'm Christine Graham. I'm the finance coordinator for ASG, and I'm glad that we were able to have this meeting with you.
Nice to meet you.
I am Autumn Ringer, and I am student activities, and thank you so much for being here.
I'm Sheen Orsborn, and I'm the in-district representative for ASG. I'm looking forward to hearing what you say.
I think that's all of us, but now we want to hear from you.
I'll start up there.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jarett Gilbert, and I am the new Vice President of Instructional Services.
Hi, everyone. Gerardo Cifuentes, Vice President of Student Services.
Hi, Marta Cronin, President.
Okay. And then, so we'll go ahead and start with the questions, and then I have like the best one first. And this is going to be a little difficult. All right, so I'm going to start with, do you miss us?
So do you want all of us to answer each question, or do you want us to take turns?
It's up to you. So like if all of you want to answer the question, then you can totally do that. Or if you want to take turns, then we can do that as well. It's up to you.
Well, I could answer one. Do I miss you guys? Well, I've never met you, so I can't miss you, but I look forward to meeting you when we are able to be back kind of on campus. I mean, I count this as a virtual meeting, so it's nice to meet y'all, and it definitely is weird not to have students on campus. So I miss a campus with students.
Definitely. Any others?
Of course we do. What kind of a question is that? I go into the cafe hoping that maybe I'll run into one of you, knowing that the buildings are closing, or the library, or the tutoring center. Yes, your presence is very much missed, and I think Gerardo probably agrees with that.
Truly. I mean, students bring all this energy to campus, then it's really hard to describe. So we miss you a lot. On the other hand, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job having a virtual presence. So when I'm checking the Facebook or Instagram and you guys are sharing all these videos, it's just kind of like, I miss you guys because it's nice seeing you there. That made the experience different. So thank you for doing that.
Of course. And then we have, what is your favorite thing to do when you have free time?
Like that's, you know, I think my answer would be different when quarantine is lifted. But right now, in my free time, I like to just hang out and be outside. That's kind of boring answer. I'm sorry.
Mine's my one.
Yeah, I like to play with my cat. You'll get a chance to see the cat at some point.
Yeah, I would say like spending time with my family, specifically during this time, everything like virtual interactions, friends, and I do a lot of running. So maybe instead of you guys are going to be able to see me in the community, I'm running all over the place.
It's different with the pandemic and without the pandemic. I like to travel in my free time, but now I like to read most of the time. I'm a total nerd. If I have 5 minutes, you'll find me with my nose in a book somewhere.
Okay. And then tell us a little bit about you. So this would be like each one of you.
Sure. Maybe I'm going to talk things about me that really define me as a person. And I would say that one of the biggest things I would say is that I am first generation college participant. So I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And I think that really defines me as a person and how I do things, how I see the world. The other thing also, I'm a person of color. I'm a male and a person of color. And I have been able to live in different countries, and I keep just learning what that means in our world. I am a brother, I am a family member, and one thing that I keep learning about myself is that I have a really strong passion for social justice. I think since I was a kid, I have been always thinking about what can I do to make a better world, and I think it's one of my biggest passions. So anyway, it's a couple things about me.
So I think Gerardo and I have a lot of things in common, right? So for me, when people ask me, tell me about yourself, I'm first generation college, first generation American born. I actually have dual citizenship with another country, so I am American, but I feel like I'm half and half. Always, you carry that with you. Thank you. So there are certain things that help define you. I think this is a really big one for both of us, I think.
Well, my answer is going to seem horribly inadequate now that you've heard these very interesting stories. Tell you about myself. Well, I grew up in a military family, so we moved around a lot. My dad and my mom actually met at boot camp in the Army, but then when my mom got pregnant with me, she left the Army. So, but in any case, we moved around. So my family is very close with one another. I have two younger brothers, and we're very close, but we're spread out across the country. But I think probably something that that's come to define me because I find myself, I really love to travel, and I lived abroad for 4 years in college. So I don't know, I'd probably leave it at that. I'm a big people person. I believe in the work that community colleges do, so it excites me. And I used to be in a band, and in many ways, when I'm rocking out in my car, I still feel like I'm back on stage.
What was the name of your band?
Oh, if I tell you, you're going to go look me up, so I'll just say it's a rock band.
Okay, and then Stormy has joined us, and I don't know if you're ready, Stormy, but you would be next.
What is your guys' favorite food?
Pizza. Every meal. Leftovers for breakfast. Good pizza, not bad pizza.
Creme brulee is
Gross altogether.
Yeah.
Sweets, anything sweet.
I love pasta, any kind of pasta.
The rudder in the car.
I'm totally down with the sweets and pasta, but cannot do pizza. I hate pizzas.
Well, so you're not gonna like my next answer then.
What is your favorite event ASH's held?
When I got to make the pizzas. That was the best pizza I've had since I moved to the Dalles.
That's probably the best pizza I've ate too, but I don't like pizza.
Well, I think I've only been here for one event, and that's bingo, and I'm very upset that I haven't won yet.
Me too.
I'm so close.
I was so close, and it was out, and I said, wow.
I was saying the talent show that was happening in the cafeteria, that was really fun. So I was doing lunch all the time right there, and during the talent show, there was a lot of energy, a lot of noise, so that was really fun. And the other one, that was Welcome Day, just this spring. I was so impressed about how you guys were able to engage with the students via virtually, and that was really, really fun. So that was great.
What does it mean to you to be a Chinook?
So, you know, salmon swing upstream, right? So I think that to be a Chinook is to persevere, to never give up, to keep going until you get to where you want to go. To me, that's what it means to be a Chinook.
Absolutely, I agree with that. One of the things that I have been here for about 11 months, and just interacting with people here in campus, interacting with the students, I always have a list about things. I'm always taking notes about everything. And when I'm thinking about this question, I am thinking about people that people that are adaptable about any circumstance. Knowing that a lot of our students, they drive from really far away, and I know weather is a little different here. We get snow. I can just see that we are brave. People speak in different languages on the campus, which I really like that. People are connected to other cultures. Made me think like global thinkers. People always ready to help. I think that made me feel like it's a lot of people with compassion, like we're compassionate with each other. And always ideas, innovation, and finally, just the energy of caring. Anyway, so I would like to just those adjectives to just answer the question that you asked.
Yeah, I had literally every point that they both just made. So no, taking off of what Gerardo said about innovation, I like to, you know, I've thought a lot about this in my, 3 weeks so far on the job, but I like to think about us in our geographical positioning and who we are as an institution, and just think about big impact in a small town setting. How each one of you, depending on where you want to go, you as a governmental body, but also the students in general, is what you take from here and how you apply it to change the world around.
Okay, I like those responses. I think that to be a Chinook, and like Dr. Cronin said, salmon swim upstream, and I think that we're all really motivated to do stuff. And yeah, I love your responses. Now we have Faith.
Very cool.
Yes, thank you for answering these questions. I would like to ask, sorry, technical difficulties. What is your guys' quarantine routines?
Well,
Being on Zoom.
work. Well, if you mean like for work or for the weekend?
Every day.
Every day. Well, love taking a shower, so definitely that happens. No, I would say like on the weekend, I like basically my activities revolve around the battery for my battery-powered weed whacker. So I like to get out there, 40 minutes, put it back on the charger, let it charge, and about 5 hours later, I'm ready to do it again. And I find things to do in between. But during the week, you know, just kind of, I like to get up early. My wife has a Peloton bike, so I ride on that. And then I start working and basically work here, bopping in and out of Zoom meetings and taking care of emails. And then at the end of the day, I like to just, well, I'm in a doctoral program right now, so I do a lot of studying. So that's kind of that, maybe a little TV to do it again.
Okay.
So being cooped up has kind of changed people's routine, I think, right? So I've been making it a point to go for a long walk every morning on the riverfront trail. Is that what it's called? The river trail, whatever. Just to kind of get out, because I feel like I'm on Zoom all day. Zoom or on email all day. No offense, I'm enjoying the Zoom now. I mean, in general.
Yeah, same thing here. I did something that haven't changed from my routine. I wake up usually 5 a.m. in the morning. I love running. So I run 12 miles every day. Then after that, I used to run my computer, and I just do the same thing that I used to do when we were operating as normal. The only difference is that now everything is virtual. And and one of the things that I keep just seeing myself doing a little different in this new routine, I am always thinking about what can we do a little different to make sure we are helping our students to be able to get what they need in this new environment. So anyway.
Awesome. Thank you for
And it's
answering.
true about his running, because I don't run outside a lot, and the one time I did it, probably in the last half a year, I went out. Well, that's not true, but in the last few months, I went outside on Monday to go for a jog, and there was Gerardo coming down the street.
You should have run with us.
I definitely couldn't. I couldn't even make it. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's fast.
My second question, which you may have covered a little bit, is what is a fun activity that you've done during the quarantine?
Getting hired at Columbia Gorge Community College to work with its amazing students, faculty, and staff. But seriously, that is the highlight of my quarantine.
I don't know if there's anything fun that I've done.
Something fun I am doing, I would say, I am cooking, because now you can eat in any other place. So I have been kind of like trying to learn a little more about nutrition, that kind of stuff, and then just getting into cooking. I think it's fun.
Well, I just realized I answered the next question, so I'll give you the highlight of my quarantine was getting hired and starting the job. The fun activity that I did probably was, before I started, my wife and I did a road trip of all the county chairs of the county capitals. So we went to Condon and Fossil and we just did a little road trip one Saturday and took a photo in front of all the town signs.
Sounds really fun. I would like to ask Gerardo, what specific dishes have you been making?
So this is the first thing that I learned. The first thing that I learned, it's specifically about food, right? What is some of the best food that you can eat to be able to be healthy and don't get sick? So I am not really cooking anything fancy. When I'm saying cooking, I'm talking about making a lot of different kinds of juices with spinach. Let me think, like blueberries.
Your cactus.
Cactus. So that could be like a 2-hour conversation. I would say it's almost like non-conventional cooking.
That's great. And I'll have to try that cactus thing, because I have never heard of people doing that.
Is that right?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I will some cactus for you guys in the future.
I think Addie has the next couple of questions.
Yes, I do. All right. Hold on. What kind of events would you like to see from us?
One thing I was thinking, and this is what I was maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when you guys start our TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? When we make TikTok official. I personally love TikTok. I am there all the time. I was just thinking if we could do some kind of contest using TikTok. I don't know. I just keep seeing that that's becoming so popular everywhere, and people really engage and they like and participate. So anyway.
Yeah. Dr. Cronin said she was looking forward to it.
There's actually a new video up today. Just saying.
Oh, there it is. You know, I haven't had the chance to, I'm just, you know, because I just started, I'm just learning some of the events that are going on. So I think I'll probably just sit back and listen to the events that are going on that you guys are hosting and try and participate in them. And then ask me again this time next year.
We should have an eating contest that highlight the cafe.
Ooh,
right?
I like that.
Like a pie eating contest or something.
I would definitely.
We're actually taking any recommendations. Just saying.
You know, I would be really interested to see, you know, we're going to be we're going to be remote and online and distance for a while. So, you know, the bingo activity is actually really cool. I look forward to seeing the numbers every morning. But anything you guys can do around, you know, that kind of account for the fact that we're going to be connected but isolated, I'm interested to see what you guys put forward.
Okay. Other than that, we have Christine.
Well, I just would like to know, due to COVID-19 and restrictions, do you have an idea when the dorms will be started and finished?
Yeah, so at this moment, we're only behind 1 month, and it's because of the permitting office is slow in issuing the permits. But we're supposed to be breaking ground in July. Originally it was June. But we're still projected to be open for next fall, 2021, for occupancy.
Well, it's not on the script, but do you know how many students that we'll be able to house?
50, and then 2 RAs. So
How many?
50, and then 2 people who are in charge of each floor, 1 on each floor.
So the other question I had was, what kind of new programming will we see in the Skills Center?
So one of the bays is dedicated to construction technology, which is kind of a sampling of all the things technology, construction related. It's a little bit of electrical, a little bit of HVAC, a little bit of plumbing. The other one that's going in there is metals fabrication, which is kind of like an advanced welding program. And then there's going to be a clean lab, which is going to be 3D printing and different things. But the other program that was going to go there originally, which is aviation maintenance, will be across the river at the airport, that hangar. So that program is projected to open at the same time, only not on campus, because you need a training site to house a plane, and that'll take up the whole skill center to put a plane in there.
So that'll be aviation?
Yes, aviation maintenance, which is the mechanics.
Aviation maintenance.
Yes.
I see. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Can we sign you up, Christine?
For what?
First cohort, aviation maintenance?
I'll stay away from the aviation. However, anything when it deals with finance or anything like that, just talk to me. I'm always interested.
Hey, Mike.
Good to know.
Good to know.
In fact, I just finished a school's budget, and I'm kind of, just kind of dazed right now.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Okay, we have Shane.
What got you all interested in education? Because you've been spending a lot of time working in it, so I figured.
Well, I wasn't initially, Shane. I went into a master's program in Latin American and Caribbean literature, or it was Latin American Caribbean studies, but my intent was to be doing French Caribbean literature, that I wanted to focus on that. But when I got out of that program, I needed to find a job. And a friend that I went to school with in Switzerland, she started working at New York. At that time, I was living in New York City. And my friend, who I lived with in Switzerland, she got a job at New York University and said, hey, there's a job working with international students. I think you'd be really good at it. And at that time, I was looking for basically anything in like international development, international relations. And I got the job and I loved it. I mean, I was working, I was doing a lot of work with students, building activities out, study clubs. I was traveling a lot to do recruitment. And at that point, I started getting more responsibilities that actually dealt with education and creating educational experiences for students, not just the extracurricular side. So as I started doing that, I started realizing that higher ed, I really appreciated the transformational or transformative mission of higher ed. And that's why I decided to make it my career.
In my case, I think I was sharing with you earlier about when I was talking about myself, how I define myself. And I use one word which I think is key, which is social justice. And I think since I was a kid, I was always thinking about social justice in my neighborhood, social justice in my country, then traveling around the world, social justice around the world. And I think social justice is connected with education. I think if we are able to create access to our community, have access to education, maybe that sounds a little cheesy, but we can really change the world. And I think with that concept is how I ended in education. It's in my DNA, the social piece, the social justice piece, but I think this is hand to hand. So anyway.
So I never intended on going into education. I was a French major and a Russian minor, and I was going to be an interpreter. So as I was working on my master's in linguistics, I had to get a job, right, to support myself and to pay for my master's degree. So I thought, what can I do with a degree in French? But the only answer really was teach. So I started teaching high school French when I was 20 and probably looked younger than most of my students. So that was quite an experience. But then I had kind of got sucked in. I enjoyed it. I really loved it. And then I switched my major to reading, and then I became a reading teacher, and just it's been education ever since. But it happened accidentally. At first I was like, like most high school kids, no way am I going to be a teacher. But yeah, I liked it, and that was that. That's what you can do with a language major and minor.
That's just fantastic. I mean, oh man. It's funny how those things work. You just never intend for something to go away, and it does.
Yeah.
Meant to be. That's the way it happens.
Yeah. Well, my next question is, what's your favorite program at CGCC?
Teacher ed. No, I love all the programs, but teacher ed has a soft spot in my heart, just because I was a faculty member for teacher ed. I was in teacher ed, and it's important to have good teachers and to train good teachers, and our teachers are the best.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one, especially because I'm meeting all of the department chairs and faculty right now via Zoom. I'm gonna have to have a cheat answer and say all of them because they're all great. And I would say my favorite program is whatever one is going to help you achieve your academic goals. Was that
diplomatic? I like it.
Shane?
This is a really hard one because we have a lot of great programs. And maybe I would say that it seems to me, because I work closely with students, my favorite programs are going to be the ones that really help students to maximize and get everything. What do I mean with that? Like maybe they are able to have access to that program in a way that is simple and efficient. And in the meantime, the students are able to save a lot of financial resources, because I understand in these times and in any time financial resources, it's important, right? So the teaching program, I really like it because it's something that students are able to have access from. They can start with us, and do their prereq 2 years. Then they can stay in the program and take the whole program pretty much online. So I really like that. In the meantime, our transfer programs, I really like it because that helps our students to save a lot of resources. So hopefully I'm answering the question correctly. So I'm always thinking about all these programs that are going to make our students have a great experience.
Oh, that's excellent. Here, it appears the person who is going to ask questions next is having some technical difficulties, so I think I'll just pick up theirs.
Avery should be back, Shane. He sent me a message. He's going to try to get on from his laptop. So we're going to go to Autumn and come back to Avery if he's not back by then.
Okay. How did you come to be at CGCC?
So these two came to me because I poached them from other places because they were good at it. So going back to what Gerardo keeps bringing up, for me, coming to CGCC was somewhat of a social responsibility. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So when I was the Vice President of Academic Affairs at my former institution, I was selected to be a National Hispanic Council Fellow, Leadership Fellow. They put 22 Latinos in the country, fellows in this leadership program. And for me, it was like, okay, let's go be a better Vice President. But as I got more into it and saw that, less than 30% of all college presidents are women, less than 5% are women of color. Yet, you see more and more students of color coming up into colleges and through school districts. So I thought to myself, I need to do something about that, and I'm in a position to be able to do something about that. So CGCC was especially interesting to me because it was an HSI. And it looked, based on any information, any research that I did, that really it was rather than a Hispanic serving institution, it was a Hispanic enrolling institution, where there wasn't a whole lot going on to really serve Latino students other than what was normally done to serve all the students. So I thought, let me go see what it's all about. And when I came, it's so beautiful here, who could say no, right? So I came back. All right, guys, come on. Why are you here?
Sorry. I was distracted by our, executive director of infrastructure and blah, blah, Star Wars. But it's great to see you, though. We should be back. So it was really, for me, this is part of what I would say. Well, I'll start with the simplest answer. I'm here because I want to be here. And my wife and I moved to Hood River about 2 years ago because she got a job at Providence Hood River Hospital. And so we were really excited to be living in Hood River so she received my wife, who's Latina, she received a full ride scholarship to her nurse anesthesia program at OHSU. But the stipulation was that she had to give back to the state. So the program was about 2 years long. She had to work in a rural community for 3 years in order to pay it back. And so we could have gone a lot of places in the state, but we really wanted to go to the river, and she happened to be one of the only new grads they had hired in years. So we moved to Hood River, and immediately we got here. I mean, we were in love with the place before. That's why we wanted to choose this place. But I had my eye on this institution for a long time, not just because of geographical proximity, but because it's a beautiful place in the state, and I heard really great things about it. So when this particular position came up, I thought it was a really great opportunity to work with a leadership team that's recognized in the state, some great faculty, and honestly, the logo is really dope. So, that's kind of the superficial.
In my case, I would say the community. I was doing some research, and that was amazing to see how our community, the Dallas Hood River, our service area, it's pretty diverse. And then also just learning about our institution and the potential that we have to keep doing what we are doing, but then even do better, right? I think something that is really exciting is about we are not as big as some other institutions, meaning that it's a really good thing because that really helps us to keep learning about what we need to do and make changes that we need to do to be excellent and offer you much better service. So kind of like learning about that made me feel really interested in being part of it. And in addition, I think my brain always is like futuristic. I was already thinking that in the future, this place is going to be recognized globally because it's beautiful. So I think it's just the potential that we have. And that was an automatic excitement for me to really want to be part of this.
Great. So my next question is, what is your favorite thing about CGCC?
Yeah, I would double down on what Gerardo just said, is the potential of this place. And I think about it within its context of where it is in its time and place here in the state of Oregon and in the Pacific Northwest. I think that there is a great opportunity for us to continue to share and grow the amazing things that we do here. And part of the amazing thing that we do here is we provide opportunities for our amazing students like yourselves to get what you need to go do what you want out in the world. And I think that's an incredibly powerful thing. That's my favorite thing in terms of meaning, in terms of the more superficial side of things. Again, best drive in between campuses in America, easily. Hood River to the Dalles and Dalles to Hood River is gorgeous.
So I agree that potential is really important. That's part of the reason why I came here. That's why I drove 3,200 miles across the country for Lawrence, because of the potential that CGCC has. But for me, I've been here just less than 2 years, and one of the things that I love the most about CGCC is that I already feel like I'm part of the family. You know, it's like there's this sense of community on campus, and in the teams that I work, and the people and the students, and it just feels like, you know, it's like a sense of belonging, which is, I think, really, really important for anyone.
For me, one of the favorite things is the size. Then we are smaller than some other big, huge institutions. So that means the interaction that the students are able to have with people is a lot more meaningful. And in the meantime, we are able to respond so much quicker to those needs, and even trying to customize that attention. So I think I really like that. And I think it's in the same time as with co-workers. So it's like that connection, that connectivity, it's easy that happens because our size. And I think that it's something really positive and something that I enjoy.
Great, yeah. I really agree, class sizes are awesome. So my next question is, what made you interested in CGCC?
Yeah, all of that stuff. But, you know, I've said this in a couple of different forums. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Cronin here as a president. And I can tell you so I came from Clackamas Community College, which also has a very excellent president, Dr. Tim Cook. But Dr. Cronin is like a little bit of a rock star when you hear, when you talk to other people from the state. I mean, you know that really cool things are happening here, and some of that comes from, some of that comes internally. You know, people have intrinsic motivation, but I think a lot of it also is attributed to the vision that she has helped set for the institution, but also that she collaborates in creating at the institution. So
I will echo that, because that was actually one of the biggest reasons also why I applied for this position in the past. And I would say that from this perspective, which I think, like I mentioned earlier, in my previous experience, I have been living in different countries and working in different industries. And one of the things that I have been learning in that experience is that the world is getting smaller. And you need to develop new skills to be able to be successful in this new world. And some of those skills that you need to have is to be able to be a global thinker. And understanding that our president, she has that vision, then it's able to understand different cultures, it's able to understand, see the world from different perspectives. I think that was something that I was like, I want to be part of that vision. I want to be part of that project. I want to be part of that story. And now I get it.
I want you to know that I didn't pay them to say that. Thank you guys. It's really the team. The team makes it all happen. We work so well together, and even the students, you guys are what makes student life happen. Without student life, I mean, we don't have a college. So you also are part of the team, the leadership team as an extension. And we appreciate everything you do to help with that vision of being a vibrant campus, help bring that to life.
Yeah, really great answers. Addie, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, so now we have, thank you for those responses, and I agree. The team makes everything work, and we're going to have Avery next.
All right. Hi guys.
hello.
Basically, I have only like 2 questions, but I can actually add an additional to it. It's kind of like a little bit overwhelmed to see all like honorable people right here. Yeah, I want to learn more about you guys. How are you doing?
Good. You know, are you in a museum, Avery? You look like you're in the Louvre or something, like a beautiful painting behind you.
Well, it's actually just art stuff. I draw a couple weeks ago.
Love it.
Yeah. So the first question I would ask is, like, you know, you guys are like working in the office and stuff like that, and how you like prioritize all your stuff to be able to accommodate everything you've been doing at school or the college, basically.
That's a good question.
Great question. Great question. Well, I'll tell you this, and this is something I picked up on. So Avery, and I know you came in here late, but I've been here since May 1st. And one of the things that I've learned here in terms of prioritization is everyone is students first. So that's kind of like when you have your tasks that come in and you get your 3,000 emails in your inbox, what starts to kind of move those things into a list is the students. And I mean that sincerely. That's not a joke. It's, you know, a question, it's an anchor question that kind of weights and roots all of the discussions that we have. Now, beyond that, things kind of have, I mean, this is just my perspective, and things kind of have a way of prioritizing themselves.
Okay,
and
great.
I would say that for me personally, the challenge that I see is I like to do the most difficult things first thing in the morning because my brain is at its freshest.
I would say in my case, I try to be pretty systematic. Something that is always in my mind is just about what is called operational, right? That's something that we need to do all the time. No matter what, we need to do that all the time. And then try to really get obsessed about how to simplify those operational pieces. Because I really believe the key to be able to do that, then you're going to be able to have this additional time where it's going to be, when hopefully I can use that energy to come out with game changers, right? Or to use that for some kind of innovation, to be able to keep, hopefully, bringing better service to you guys. So anyway, I think that's kind of like the way. Trying to also have a lot of discipline. Sometimes in our positions, we need to participate in a lot of meetings. And sometimes when you are in a lot of meetings, sometimes also your schedule gets a little, we know a lot of balance. So I keep reminding myself to make sure, be really intentional with those meetings. And sometimes I need to remind myself, I don't need to participate in every single one. So I guess always having a perspective about students have a lot the needs and things change rapidly, and it's always the priority about how can we be ahead of the game with planning and being futuristic to make sure we have that ready for our student body.
The key is to work smarter, not harder necessarily.
Correct. And again, you know, Gerardo's here talking about discipline, but he only runs 12 miles a day. So, you know.
Only.
That's not even half marathon.
That's not even, yeah.
1.1 miles.
That's right. Habits.
Okay.
You know that's a joke, right? He's a beast.
Yeah, me too. I only run like one miles a day, so. Alright, yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, having laying down all your inspirational plan. You know, every day I try to figure out what's gonna be like happening for like students and, you know, faculties and stuff like that. Those are really hard work, and just, you know, it's kind of like really overwhelmed for me at first time joining this ASG student conference here at Columbia George. But I'll try to, you know, ask a lot of questions to be, you know, more consistent. And so two questions that Adeline added to my stuff is just like you know, coffee shop that, you know, have some more activity that you guys want to do, like, you know, which coffee shop you guys wanted to like go into, because you know, we have like a Starbucks here. I work there, and it's like a really fun place to drink coffee. So
Is this a business pitch? Are you driving up business?
The question is, what is your favorite coffee shop and drink? We're not to promote Starbucks.
Depends on the day.
It's kind of hard one.
I drink exclusively black coffee. I like black coffee. I like if it's a good bean. I don't really have a favorite coffee shop. I guess a favorite coffee shop, I would say if I was pushed, is a, do you know the brand La Colombe?
Oh my gosh, I have to look up on that.
In any case, they have a coffee shop on Rittenhouse Square in Philadelphia, and it's just a cool little coffee shop. You could go there and get a bunch of different types of drinks, but they just do, I mean, I go, anywhere I go, just black coffee, whether it's espresso or coffee.
Yeah, the reason why I say this is because, you know, sometimes you guys like really stress out and you have to go out and drink something. All right.
That's kind of like a funny story. I think I have this obsession to build habits, and then the habit stay there forever. And I started this habit about 12 years ago, which I drink just one thing, which is sparkling water, all the time.
Ah.
So
no wonder I see you with your sparkling water.
I used to get these bottles, but then I was feeling horrible about the environment. And then I learned that there's a machine where you can make your own sparkling water. So the result is right here. So.
All right. I think that's all for me.
Okay, and then lastly, we do have, do you prefer cake or pie?
Yeah, okay.
Cake. Tres leches cake. I can eat
yes.
10 of those in one day.
Those are good.
Maybe 15 of those.
Carrot cake. Mm.
Ooh, carrot cake.
That's my favorite.
I'm a pie advocate. Pie, but only fruit pie. Don't give me this coconut cream. Chocolate pie is not a pie. Chess pie is not a pie. It's got to have fruit in it.
With ice cream on top.
And it's got to have ice cream on top.
Split the difference and go cheesecake.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys.
And then we're done with all of our questions, but do you have any questions for us?
I have one request. Can we schedule another one of these where we can throw questions at you?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like that. I
like
think
that.
we need to connect on a more regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that. If you guys can make it happen, I'd like to do that.
Definitely, yeah. I guess shoot us an email and then we can set a meeting up.
Excellent.
And let us know how we can, you know, the entire President's Council be involved in helping, you know, support or be present at any of your events, okay?
Okay.
And I have another question, Ali. What's on your shirt?
What's on my shirt? It says NASA.
It's a NASA shirt? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
pretty
so
cool.
that's why I did the background like that too. I was like, ooh. I was like, let me find something.
That's cool.
Yep. Okay, anything else for us?
I just want to thank you, all of you guys, for all the hard work that you guys are doing out there. Tiffany keep just sending updates to the whole campus about all the amazing work that you guys are doing. And I really want to thank you for all of that. Specifically, one thing I'm really impressed is about how adaptable you guys are now that things are just changing in this new environment, and how you guys are embracing this new environment to keep engaged and in touch and bring that energy to students in a virtual way. It's really impressive. And I would like to thank you for all of that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I think that the whole team has really worked hard to put ideas for all the videos and how we can involve other students. I mean, being away, it's kind of hard to just come up with events and say, hey, we're going to do this, you know? So just thinking outside the box all the time, it's really great for us. And then just knowing what might not work, but at the same time, like just going with it. I think that's the best thing that we can all do.
Yeah. As someone who's been a student government president before when I was in college, I know it's a lot of work and sometimes it's thankless work, but you guys should know how appreciated you are because you are the ones that help bring the entire campus together.
I agree. And we were also told that, I guess it's someone's birthday around here. Dr. Cronin? Dr. Cronin?
Oh, what is that? Tiffany, my husband was in on it. Nice, thanks. Thank you, guys. Get a candle because of the holes. No, I saw a fire hazard with as many candles as we need. Yes, thank you, ISG. Very cute. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I did
Happy
not.
birthday.
I did not coordinate any of that.
I'm sure. Thanks. Made my day. So going back to what is the highlight of my quarantine? My carrot cake from ASG. I'm sorry, guys, for the sample, and I'm sure it's delicious because Tammy made it.
I'm sure it is too.
Does that mean I don't get any because I'm a pie person?
Yeah, too bad. You messed it up. Wrong answer.
And that information is recorded too.
No backup.
All right. So thanks for the time and for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us as well, and we appreciate it. We're also looking forward to having another one of these where you shoot questions at us. And other than that, thank you and have a great day.
Thanks.
Have a great rest of spring term.
You too.